It's not a pitch competition. There are no prizes, no judges, only positive feedback, and it's not a demo day. It's going to be 14 short pitches, one after the other, 2.5 minutes each. And after the pitching session, you're invited to hang out outside. We're going to have tables. On each table, there's a small sign that says a name of one of the teams. So founders, please find your table. The purpose of this is basically to connect. Like, we have a lot of investors in this room. I know that we have guests from Andreessen. We have Joey from Pantera, who's also a board member at StarkWare, who's going to come up and say a few words in a second. And many, many more great VCs. And we have a lot of founders. And we have a lot of founders to be, maybe, people who came here to get to feel the energy, and maybe they're starting to, they're planning to start working on the startup soon. So everyone's welcome. A few more words about logistics before we hand it over to Joey. So here's the lineup. That's going to be the order in which teams are going to come up. So if you see your name here, please line up on the side so that teams could change quickly. And the QR code here is for the investors in this room. You're going to see this QR over and over between each presentation, so there's no rush. This is basically going to lead you to a form that you could fill, and through this form, we will help you make intros to the teams. Yeah, so that's it for logistics. One last thing is that I'd really ask teams to not go over the 2.5 minute slots that they're allocated. There's a secret door here on the floor that's going to open up if you go over the 2.5 minutes, and there might be an auditorium downstairs. Maybe there are people there. So I'd recommend not going over your time. There's a stopwatch down here. You can see how much time you have left. All right, so Joy, would you want to say a few words?
Awesome. This is really cool to see. I remember when we invested in StarkWare like 5 years ago. We always envisioned that people would build on it, but it's cool to see so many people in one place actually building on top of StarkWare. I'd say I look forward to seeing the pitches. I'll be around after. The only advice I'd have is like a 2.5 minute pitch is really difficult, and I would say maybe like talk about like the problem you're solving and why your solution is special, because like you don't really have time to get into like why your team is amazing or like all the intricate features of your product when you have such little time. So that's kind of the only bit of advice I would have for people.
All right, and now I'm going to hand it over to Jocelyn from Alliance. She's going to talk more about what Alliance is, but I'm just going to say that we're super thankful to Alliance for helping us set this up and prepare some of the pitches together with the founders.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name's Jocelyn. I'm with Alliance, the leading founder and Web3 accelerator, so I'm excited to be your MC today. But to not take the limelight from our founders, I'd like to bring our first team up, Atlantis.
Thank you. How does it work? Okay. Cool. And okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Alexis, co-founder of Atlantis, a decentralized private debt marketplace. The private debt market is the fastest growing market in the credit sector and one of the largest markets in the world, sizing at a whopping $1.5 trillion. But despite its importance, this market is exceptionally opaque, illiquid, and reserved to a few high net worth individuals. Accessing this market is done through large institutions such as private debt funds and investment banks that have a high entry cost and offer poor visibilities regarding global opportunities. Atlantis is a permission and permissionless protocol that is transparent and capital efficient and allows real-world businesses to borrow digital assets on-chain and receive funds in fiat directly on their bank account. Fintechs and institutional borrowers can access loans on-chain through dedicated borrower pools that they can withdraw from whenever needed. Funds are immediately converted to fiat and transferred to their bank account, thus abstracting the crypto complexity completely. Anyone can earn an attractive and sustainable yield by selecting their rates and depositing funds directly through our order book style pools that in return allow them to have granular control over their positions inside the protocol. To date, Atlantis has over 5,200 unique lenders and issued more than $6 million in loans with 0 defaults. I was an early DeFi engineer at Consensus, where I met my 2 co-founders, Stefan and Charlotte. Charlotte holds 2 master's degree, one in quantitative finance from EPFL, and one in machine learning from Telecom Paritech. Stefan led multiple technical teams at Consensus and holds a Master of Engineering from l'École Polytechnique. We raised $5.5 million from top-class investors, and be on the lookout as we will be releasing our V2 in April and doing a Series A later down the year. We also aim at being one of the first protocols to pilot its infrastructure through Starknet on the layer 2, while keeping its liquidity on the layer 1. Would love to talk to you about any of the next challenges. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Up next, we have Redstone.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Marcin. I'm a co-founder of Redstone Oracle, providing data just in time. So decentralized finance has getting more and more sophisticated solutions such as options, derivatives, and perps. Even though in the last year, the DeFi space has shrinked 5 times, these kind of protocols doubled in TVL. The problem is that such sophisticated DeFi protocols require high-frequency data, which is just too expensive to push on-chain. Currently, you have to cover gas costs, even though you don't necessarily need data at the given moment. Hence, currently, oracles provide 100 price feeds every 10 minutes. We cannot build the next generation of finance on such platforms. Even modems in 80s were quicker than that. So we created data delivery network that provides data directly to DApp with signatures of data providers. The data packages get on-chain and are verified over there, so you get the same security with the fraction of a cost. We've been live on mainnet for 10 months already, so we are very happy to announce our first integration outside of EVM chains, which is Starknet, because we see the builders over here. We got a couple of audits, hence such projects as Delta Prime, ZKX, or Olympus DAO trusted us. I'm an ex-program manager at Google Cloud, co-founder of ETH Warsaw Hackathon. Last year, I won ETH Bogota Hackathon. My co-founder, Jacob, is the GigaBrain ex-Open Zeppelin smart contract auditor, who also won a couple of hackathons. We also have 2 other co-founders who are seasoned engineers. We are all based in Poland. We've raised so far $7.5 million from top-tier VCs from the Web3 space. And what we are looking for right now are warm interest to protocols that would like to revolutionize DeFi and get like a cutting edge with our oracles. And also contact with us if you're willing to hear more about our future fundraise. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Up next, we have Giza.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Frank, co-founder of Giza, fully trustless protocol from on-chain AI. At the moment, if you want to empower the blockchain with AI, you need to rely on oracles for gaming, NFTs, or DeFi, something that can lead to model downtimes or delays on the oracles, and basically highly complex architectures. We are focused on the gaming, NFTs, and DeFi markets, where we plan to power these different markets from 20 billion that is at the moment, for example, on gaming, to 200 billion by 2030, with a stable 35% growth per year. What we present is a fully trustless way to deploy trained AI models as smart contracts. We remove all the risk for deploying these models, and we, using our transpiler, we convert the models into these smart contracts that are composable, so protocols can build on top. That we don't need oracles to do that. can be ownable, so people can own the models, can be traded, can be owned by the DAO, can be traded, and also can generate usage fees as well as staking rewards for the owners. So these also the stakers can be people in order to create the best models possible into the ecosystem. We have a very strong team of 3 founders. I'm the head of machine learning engineering at Adidas, and me 2 other co-founders are 4 times Web3 founders of different protocols. And we have a very strong product roadmap, and we plan to release by the end of the year. And we have more than 1,000 people in the waitlist. We are currently looking for a seed round, to help us release our latest product. And thank you very much, everyone.
All right, thank you. Up next, we have Garage.
Hello. All right. Thumbs up. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Zach. I'm a co-founder at the Amherst Labs, and today I'm happy to present you the Girig, which is the Ziki Snark optimized inter-blockchain communication portal between Cosmos and Ziki rollups. So some of you already know what is Cosmos Hub is. So if somebody who doesn't know, it's a large number of interconnected blockchains who are also connected between IBC to each other, and it currently has a market value of 11 billion, and there's currently 54 IBC zones connected to that, and about 0.8 million of daily IBC volume. So what is Girig? So in a simple term, since we have a very short time, I wanted to describe in a much simpler term. So if you think blockchain is an independent city, and the Girig is a new blockchain part city where Ziki chains meet with the independent rollups. So in a way that we are creating a new way of how blockchains be able to choose and their compatible provider based on their preference and needs. And the current IBC architecture has several issues with the compatibility when it comes to cross-chain non-centric Cosmos chains. So we able to we're able to minimize the gas efficiency with the Ziki snarks, and in the short term we are being able to extend the security measures to it as well. So this is our team, and our team member Yogurt has also contributed the Starknet software development kit. So we first building the Cairo architecture between Starknet and Cosmos Hub. And if you have more information to that, please scan this so you can know more about what we are building with Amherst Labs and how we are envisioning the future of cross-chain ecosystem. So we are here to go to finding our lead investor, and yeah, I mean, we wanted to see somebody who really sees how the cross-chain is going to be important, and moving on with Amherst Labs. Thank you.
All right, up next we have Death Machine.
Thanks for having me. First of all, before I start, just want to say thank you to StarkWare. I think there's a lot of really smart people in crypto, and there's a few really good people, and it's really rare for those to intersect. And I think with StarkWare, they intersect perfectly. So thank you for having me. This is my project, Death Machine. It's a zero-knowledge game powered by recursive snarks. I think crypto gaming is getting a lot of attention right now, and the thing that really excites me about crypto gaming is it allows you to deal with really abstract and complex subjects or ideas, and kind of boil them down into something that's really manageable, that you can grasp and think about. So where crypto is today, and I think the thing that it has everybody here is blockchains really face three big problems, and blockchain games face those problems as well. The first is they're slow, they're expensive, they're public. And when you're making a game, you have to face all of those things. And as I've been building games in the space over the last year, I've seen those really firsthand. But I want to talk about where we're going and why it makes me so excited. So this is the future of crypto, and this is what's going to happen in the next year, in the next 2 years, and it's going to happen really, really, really fast. On one hand, we have the scaling, the L2 scaling like Starknet that are coming up and are massively increasing the efficiency of these systems. But on the other hand, we're also seeing these massive breakthroughs on the client side, on the user side, on what can happen on the actual user computers. And that is being powered by recursive ZK snarks. Like new repos are coming out almost every week on this technology, and the amount of breakthroughs that are happening are just incredibly powerful and incredibly exciting. And we're looking at a future where people are going to be able to do incredible things with their phones. And the way I think about it, that I think everybody can think about it, is imagine having an L2 on your phone for like 5 seconds or 5 minutes that then disappears after it proves it, and that's really powerful. So how do we get there? So this is my game called Death Machine, and this is the front end of it, and I think I'm just going to walk you through really quickly, show you what it is, and maybe that illustrates the technology a little bit. So users generate an actual game board, and that's generated on-chain, and that's immutable on-chain. But the rest of the game logic is exported to the actual, the recursive snarks, and we're offloading all the rest of the computation. Users input their actual commands here, and then they generate a proof of those commands, which runs through the actual game logic, and is able to offload a tremendous amount of computation. This is our roadmap. Our first prototype is complete. We're really going towards our alpha launch February 20th. I'm working on our technical write-up, and then we're doing a hard launch, not a soft launch, mainnet on April 7th. About myself, my name is Simon Judd. I go by Big Sky on Twitter. I've been very active in crypto since 2020. I was at a project called Index Co-op where I raised a lot of money and helped them grow a lot. And before that, I spent 6 years as an infantry officer in the United States Marine Corps. Thank you.
Thank you. And up next, we have Firebase.
Hi. We are here for Firebase Finance, which is developed by Starknet Turkish community, and it's a DEX aggregator of Starknet. I am Ulaş, and I'm giving my word.
Hey, I'm Caner. So you know that there is a DeFi ecosystem in the Starknet is growing rapidly with the many of the new DApps. Also, the other chains DApps is rebuilding in Starknet. So this growing into the value for Starknet with a important way. But the DEX liquidities are fragmented into the many pool, and that causes not optimized swaps for users. And also, current DEXs are not serving a easy UX for users. Many of the using the copy design and also have poor experiences. So there is not any DEX aggregator combines the many pools for the best route. Also, there is no single, just the one DEX, not good enough for giving the best price for the users. So there is Firebase Finance.
There is Firebase Finance. Firebase Finance scans all pools in Starknet DeFi ecosystem to find the best routes for each trade. We have a special algorithm which makes recursive calculations to offer the best trading route and offers this route for the users, so that users can easily interact with our UX and perform their trades in our app, where all of the DEXs of Starknet are combined. You can check a special picture from our offered route. We have completed our first testnet phase in 1 month ago with 2K users and 25K transactions, and we were planning to open next testnet with improved algorithm and improved UX with fixed bugs, but we decided to delay it for a few days due to the earthquake in Turkey. And we have a project community in Starknet Turkey, and StarkRack holders will be able to perform their trades without fees in Firebase.
There is no investment round for Firebase Finance yet, but please, we are open to strategic investors, integration, and development partnerships. So please use our app in testnet. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Up next, we have Neptune.
Hi, I'm Alan, co-founder of Neptune, a future-proof, privacy-preserving Layer 1. Cryptocurrencies have gone from 0 to $1 trillion in less than 14 years, and certainly the market potential is far higher going forward. However, transparent ledgers are terrible for privacy. Existing Layer 1 privacy solutions don't scale, and Layer 2 solutions inherit the security vulnerabilities of their base layers. And you cannot fix quantum insecurity with an upgrade. At Neptune, we believe that ZK Starks belong on Layer 1. It will give us scalable privacy and programmability, as well as post-quantum security at Genesis. We already have a Stark engine called Triton VM, as well as a compiler for it. The next step is to build a recursive verifier and to integrate it into the blockchain client. We expect to launch in summer of this year. Between my co-founder, partner, and me, we've authored influential scientific articles and tutorials on the topic of snarks and starks and built a crypto vault that today secures more than $3 billion worth of crypto assets. We're following the template of Bitcoin's launch and governance as closely as possible. The company behind Neptune will dissolve on December 31st, 2025. The pre-mine is less than 2%, and we are offering it to privacy-minded individuals to raise funds. So ask yourself what the future global financial infrastructure needs to look like after quantum computers are activated, and what part in that transition you want to play. Welcome to Neptune's safe haven. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Up next, I'd like to invite Radius to the stage.
Hi, I'm AJ, co-founder of Radius, the sequencing layer for rollups on Ethereum. In DeFi, the TVL reached $55 billion and trading volume is over 2 trillion, which is still growing because it's transparent, public, and composable. But unfortunately, because these transactions are transparent, over 90% of Ethereum validators are extracting values from users through toxic trading strategies called MEV. So just within 2 years, users have lost almost $1 billion to MEV. So DeFi apps are working with the validators to minimize those harmful MEVs, such as front-running and sandwich attack, but that's not enough, because the power of ordering transactions still belongs to the centralized validators. So in order to mitigate this centralization, Radius is replacing the sequencing role of validators for rollup. So our sequencing layer ensures that user funds are protected from a bad MEV. Based on our own ZK scheme and verifiable delay encryption, we will provide trustless sequencing to rollups. The transactions are hidden while sequencing, and their validity is proved by ZKP. Our sequencing layer cannot manipulate them. Also, because a variety of rollups share a single sequencer, we can provide atomicity and bridging across rollups for maximization of cross-rollup arbitrage. We will open this opportunity to traders or MEV searchers to make our own revenue. We just launched our alpha version, and in collaboration, in discussion to collaborate with rollup as a service and DeFi projects to onboard them as our first rollups interacting with our sequence layer. I was at Samsung Research for 13 years, working on security and privacy research. And my CTO is the PhD in distributed system. And then our CRO is running the biggest ZK research community in Korea. We are looking for investors. We are raising for pre-seed round, and they're looking for DeFi projects and roll-up service to deploy as a app chain layer 3 on Stocknet. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Up next, we have Carmine Finance.
Hi, I'm Marek. I'm a founder of Carmine Finance, a fully on-chain insurance platform. The blockchain insurance is estimated to be 40 billion by 2030 with an annual growth rate of 70%. Traditional insurance companies are heavy on manual labor and have decades-old processes. For the end user, it makes it slow and costly. Companies like Ping An, AXA, Allianz, and so on have decades-old processes that are heavy on manual labor. Often they don't even do claim assessment, especially for the low-value claims, and for the rest is done at least partially manually. Carmine provides an insurance that is automated, fully on-chain, at a fair pricing and fast. We are capital efficient. We provide fair pricing of the standardized risk through Carmine Options AMM. We will allow for specific insurance events to be insured, and we will have automated claim assessment process. So far, we are testing our alpha, first product, the Carmine Options AMM, and we've got over 300 users to give us qualitative feedback on the Options AMM. I worked as a lead for a high-frequency trading company, both on and off crypto in Chainkeepers and Quantlane. I worked as a CTO for a project called Aquila. My co-founders, David was a front-end and DevOps engineer in Seznam. Andrei worked with me in Chainkeepers as a quant, and Andrei was a smart contract freelance developer. So far, we have raised for 240K, and we are raising additional round, and we are looking for investors. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Beamer Bridge.
Hi, I'm Fred, CTO of Beamer Bridge, a roll-up-to-roll-up ERC20 token bridge. Scaling Ethereum has been the elephant in the room ever since the Genesis block was mined. We have seen ETH killers coming and going. Now we see users coming back, but not to L1. We see them coming back on rollups. Arbitrum, Optimism, Starknet. They all agree on using Ethereum as their global settlement layer. However, users are stuck inside of these silos. If they want to use their assets on another rollup, they have to either go back to Ethereum or use some sketchy bridge which requires to trust a centralized entity or unaudited code. And we all have seen how that went. Actually, lots of bridges are just custodial multisigs. And on the other side, we see good teams building two complex solutions which introduces the risk of unnoticed bugs in the code. That's why we decided to build Beamer, a simple and highly secure roll-up-to-roll-up only bridge. A bridge where users get an amazing UX with almost instant finality while being secured by Ethereum itself. Beamer is a market-making protocol where liquidity providers bridge tokens immediately by leveraging optimistic design. And in the event of a dispute, Beamer uses Ethereum for correct resolution. This is similar to how optimistic rollups work. We are live on mainnet since October last year, and just 2 weeks ago, we have released our second version bridging between Arbitrum and Optimism. In the past 2 weeks, Beamer facilitated over 9,000 transfers and a total of 700,000 USD. This makes Beamer under the top 10 most used dApps on both rollups. The team, Brainbot Technologies, the team behind Beamer, is a venture builder in the space. We've been deeply rooted in the Ethereum ecosystem since March 2014. This is even 18 months before mainnet launched. Last year, we raised our seed round. Beamer raised a total of 2.65 million. And this year, we will start our Series A, seeking for an investment of around 8 to 10 million. There are no specific figures yet, but we are here to look for a lead investor for the upcoming round. So if you're a potential candidate and want to know what's next fast, please reach out. Thank you so much.
All right, up next we have Aura.
Does this thing work? Cool. So my name is Adar. I do research and smart contract development for Aura Protocol, which is a stablecoin system being developed by Lindy Labs. So let's talk a bit about stablecoins. Stablecoins are one of the killer use cases of crypto today. Companies use them for payments. People use them for payments. It's really one of the things that actually has, like, I guess, a real-world use case currently. And right now, the stablecoin market is largely composed of centralized stablecoins, so USDC, USDT. But we expect that over time, decentralized stablecoins will make up a larger and larger portion of the stablecoin market. So I'm sure many of you guys have heard of the blockchain trilemma, where blockchains have to make trade-offs between decentralization, security, scalability. And stablecoins similarly face a trilemma between decentralization, capital efficiency, and solvency. And just for reference, something like USDC completely throws decentralization out the window and instead optimizes for capital efficiency and, in theory, solvency, although solvency is harder to audit with centralized stablecoins. And something like Liquidity optimizes for decentralization and solvency, but its capital efficiency suffers. So existing decentralized stablecoin solutions like Liquidity and Maker have had to make various trade-offs within this trade-off space. So for example, Maker sacrifices decentralization in favor of maintaining a tighter peg. And Liquidity has a looser peg, but it goes all in on decentralization. And both of them are less capital efficient than they could be in varying ways. So I'll get into what that means in a sec. So for example, Maker has a very slow liquidation mechanism, and it also uses USDC in order to maintain its peg. Right now, a third of all DAI is actually backed by centralized stablecoins. Not that great if you want to be decentralized. And Liquidity, while it has faster liquidations, it only has ETH as collateral, and was the beeping. It only has ETH as collateral, and it has a looser peg. So let's look at Aura. Aura is a censorship-resistant stablecoin system that takes advantage of the cheap computation made available by Starknet in order to achieve higher capital efficiency while also maintaining the peg and providing a nicer borrowing experience for users. Some of Aura's flagship features are adaptive interest rate controller for stabilizing the price of the stablecoin, dynamic liquidation parameters, a multi-layered liquidation system, and cross-collateral borrowing. And that's more or less it. We're raising. We have audits scheduled for Q2, and we're aiming to launch shortly after, so come chat with us. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Up next, I'd like to invite Starknet ID. Come on up.
Yep, thanks. Hello everyone, happy to be here. So I'm here to present Stocknet ID. So what we do, first, I'm going to present a bit the market. So right now, on-chain identity is a plus 20 billion market. You might don't know it, but to me, right now, this is one of the biggest product market fit in crypto, because identity is all about PFP first, but also ENS names and names in general with the domains, with unstoppable domains, ENS, etc., etc. So the two main product market fit that we saw in crypto for identities is PFPs and username right now. So it's still a pretty big market, even in bear market. So right now the problem is that there is no real on-chain identity, because a Web3 identity is scattered on different chains and different apps. So especially when you want to build on Starknet, you have to rebuild all the identity infrastructure, query 18 different APIs, 80 different contracts in order to retrieve all the data that you need as a protocol, as a game builder, etc., etc. So a user will have to add their username again, add the profile pic again, add the Twitter again to your protocol, add the KYC again, etc., etc. And this is not at all what we want to do in Web3, because by definition, Web3 is something with interoperability. So this is the problem that we aim to solve with Starknet ID. So our solution is Starknet ID empowers the user to create an on-chain passport that unifies all the fragmented data representing your on-chain ID, and we specialize for the moment on Starknet. So that's the solution, and this is like a drawing to show you how it works. So basically, you're going to create a small passport, which is an NFT, and on this NFT, you'll be able to write different data. So you'll be able to write your Stark name, which ends with .stark, your ENS soon. We announced it yesterday. Your social media, etc., etc., proof of humanity, KYC. We can add a lot of things, PFPs, etc., etc. We can add a lot of things, and this is basically what we do right now. When it comes to the tractions, right now we have 64,000 identities created on the mainnet. We launched 1.5 months ago, and we have 29,000 domains and 10 integrations live. The team, it's me and my co-founder Thomas. We are basically Starknet native guys. I sold the Web2 company. He's an early Cairo dev since more than 1 year right now. And my ask basically is just to connect with builders right now that are building in the identity space. Thank you.
All right, up next we have Sphinx.
Hey everyone, so I'm Park. I'm one of the co-founders of Sphinx, and we're an on-chain order book building on Starknet. So crypto trading today is a $45 billion market, but actually 90% of that still happens on centralized exchanges. And the DEX market share is definitely growing, so it actually grew 10 times over the last 2 years. But the problem is the DEX infrastructure is still not ready today. So existing solutions like AMMs suffer from impermanent loss and capital inefficiency, and you have off-chain order books which are not composable or censorship resistant. There are other on-chain order books, but because they're restricted to a single blockchain, they're actually less convenient and more liquid compared to centralized alternatives. So our solution is Sphinx. We're building a natively cross-chain order book DEX, which is designed to compete with Sexes, both on convenience and execution. And by building on Starknet, we're leveraging 2 features. So one is massive scalability, and then the other is trustless cross-chain bridging using something called storage proofs. So just to explain a bit more how that works. So basically, we allow users to trade remotely on our protocol from other chains like Ethereum, using nothing more than their native MetaMask wallet. So this is done using a combination of typed EIP 712 messages, as well as bridging via kind of storage proofs. So basically we do a storage proof to bridge to Starknet, and then a snark proof wrapper to bridge back. So as a fully on-chain order book, we're designed to compose with AMMs and other DeFi applications. So this allows us to share liquidity and also revenues. So last year, after winning two hackathons and also launching MVP on testnet, we basically started early conversations with market makers and other DeFi applications building in the space to discuss integrations. And basically our team formed after ECC hackathon last year. So myself, I'm a financial analyst turned software engineer. I most recently worked in crypto VC at Fabric Ventures and also at Google. And I'm also a lead delegate at MakerDAO and Aave. And my co-founder, Remy, is a Web3 founder fellow at South Park Commons. Previously, he co-founded a protocol called Parallel Finance, and he was also a software engineer at Google and Microsoft. And just quickly finishing off here, we're looking to connect with investors interested in our protocol, as well as market makers and other DeFi projects building on Starknet. And you can check us out on at SphinxDex on Twitter, so Sphinx DEX. Thank you.
All right, and for our last presentation, we'd like to invite Converse up.
Hey everyone, how are you? Raise your hand if you're good. Okay, you're good. I'm the last one. I'm trying to put good energy here. I'm Paul. I'm a co-founder of Converse, which is a Web3 messaging app based on the XMTP protocol. Today, Web2 applications drive billions of users on their app every day, and they capture their attentions. Yet, none of these apps let you own your conversations. It means that they can block you for no reason, they can prevent you from using the client of your choice, or most of them can actually read all of your messages. There are Web3 attempts that tried to actually fix this, but they didn't really succeed yet. First, they are all siloed, so they are trying to win alone rather than doing it all together against the big ones. Second, they are focusing on wallet-to-wallet communication, so a 0x talks to a 0x. And they are not really taking fully advantage of the Web3 identities that emerged over the last few years. So we are building Converse, which is the first identity-to-identity Web3 messaging app based on the XMTP protocol. So the UX is as simple and efficient as the Web2 apps that you already know, and we are taking advantage of the power of Web3 interoperability. So on one side, you can access all of the conversations that you already had on the XMTP network, so such as Lens apps or Wallet Roulette. And on the other side, you can reach out to any ENS handle, Lens handle, or even PFPs. So within 1 month, we manually onboarded more than 100 beta testers. The active users use the app 5 to 6 times every single day, and we are in close relationships with the XMTP team in order to build the best client for their protocol. We are 2 people in the team, myself and Noé. We've been former CPO and CTO of startups. We met each other 12 years ago at one of the top engineering schools in France. And we built experiments before Converse, such as Pixels, first on-chain art experiment on Starknet, Starkey token gating app on Starknet as well, and Wallet Roulette, which was one of the first experiments on top of the XMTP protocol. We are going to raise a seed round in the next 2 months, so if you're interested in participating, ping me at paul@getconverse.app.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you for all of our presenters today. I think I'd like to pass it off to Gal.
Yeah, we basically, let's wrap it up. Thank you everyone for all the presenters and for everyone who attended this event. Here's again the QR code that you can scan and fill a form, and through this form we'd help you connect with the presenters. And you're welcome to hang out outside. Every presenting team has a table with a little sign that says its name on it. So teams, you're welcome to hang out around your table, and yeah, thank you for coming.